Thank you all for coming here. I'm super happy that so many of you came. It's really, it's always an honor. And I think I already have led some people through the building, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about my process, what I did here, and a little bit about my theme. But I would also love to start a bit of a conversation, maybe have questions, but also the theme is being in a hurry, so maybe you have associations or you saw the work and you thought something, so it would be nice to have a little discussion, I think. But first, I was super lucky to be invited by Paul and Rubina to stay here for 2 months, and I stayed here in March and April. March was the development phase, and I kind of started with the idea of the absent body was kind of the theme that I was working on at that moment. But when I came here, I got inspired by the environment, and I kind of let go of that idea to develop something else that would just appear, I would say, because I was walking and biking around the place, and I found the Bierumer School and it looked like a beach, so I was like, oh, maybe I can walk on this sand, because what I normally do in my work is I do a lot with the body in the environment, and I recently made a work where I was walking in the mountains of Spain. So I was like, okay, maybe I can kind of copy this work and do that in a strandje. But when I was walking there and I set a foot in the sand, it turned out not to be sand, but kind of this slick kind of mud. So I was in until here, and that is how the first idea came to actually go do a tour in this super hard to walk in mud, together with my suitcase. And it was also the first image that I shot, and it became kind of the cover of the Bierumer School krant that is on the tables. It's a beautiful little poster. And then at the same time I was I had this idea in my head for a long time to do something with being in a hurry, because it's a really interesting kind of state of being where your body kind of functions with a lot of adrenaline, kind of functions how you want it to, kind of an autopilot, if you can say. And I was in my work already doing a lot with different states of mind, if you can say it like that. So I made a little documentary about being nervous, for example, and I was kind of looking for the next kind of state of mind to discover. And then kind of the image and the idea came together, and I named the film with me dragging the suitcase through the mud. I called it Shortcut, and it became kind of a symbol of how we as humans try to go as fast as possible, but it's not always efficient or quick, even though that's always what we want. And that was the starting point to kind of embrace this theme. And the two installations upstairs, I don't know if you've seen it already, they are kind of inspired by this idea of taking a shortcut or trying a different route, which is not the fastest route, but we are as humans very used to try to take the shortest route. But I also want you to kind of see it and imagine it yourself, so I'm not going to explain everything. And then next to that, kind of the opposite of being in a hurry was waiting, and I got fascinated by this as well. Wanted to kind of capture it in some way. So upstairs I made a third installation with me in a waiting room in different clothes. So I sit down on chairs that kind of on screens blend into the environment. And you can be part of the installation itself, yourself as well. So it kind of became this interactive waiting room that was always moving and always, kind of calm environment. But also when you're in a waiting room, you're never completely at ease. So you're always kind of a little bit in a hurry, even though it's in a different way than, for example, when you want to catch a train. And that's also kind of connects this piece upstairs with the piece downstairs, which is called in Dutch wachten tot de zon opkomt, which means waiting till the sun comes up. And I just stand on the roof, waiting for the sun to come up, but it doesn't. So I just stand there in the rain, waiting for it, kind of impatient. And in the corner you can actually see the sun come up. But me wanting to see it is never going to. So yeah, that is kind of how I designed the exhibition. So it's about waiting, it's about trying the shortest way, being in a hurry, but also on the other hand, the exhibition also kind of calms me in a way, so it kind of is about, yeah, these things. So yeah, I would love to hear from you if you have any thoughts, any questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
In the movie where you climb into the tree, you have such a beautiful, it seems like a Japanese dress on. Does that have a function as well, this kind of dress, or was it by coincidence that you wore such a dress?
I think the first thought was the color of it, because it's bright blue, so when you climb into the green, it kind of, you can really see it, and it's not red, so it's not super contrasting, but you can really see this dress. And on the other hand, I thought it would be kind of this interesting mix of trying to climb a tree in a dress that is not meant to be, like, you are not meant to move in it. So it's kind of that contrast that I was looking for, and that those two thoughts came into my mind. I filmed it and I was like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be, I guess. Yeah, also a lot of the exhibition is full of coincidences as well that I kind of grabbed onto. Yeah.
Totally not camouflage.
No, no, I had to.
Yeah, but it makes it really poetic also.
Yeah,
It's like the flowers coming down.
Perfect dress for doing such a thing.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah,
all
thank
the
you.
coincidence is very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
And also I have another question. And also in the movie with the waiting room, I come in and sit on a chair, and then I see myself sitting on a chair, which was funny as well, but then you come to sit on the chair as well. And then I left, and I had the feeling maybe you're going to leave as well, but you didn't. That was also a very striking moment, that you didn't leave.
Yeah. Thank you. That's a really nice thought. I think the waiting room was also, the idea was always there, but then very last minute it came together, and now that I'm into it, I can experience it also for the first time myself today and yesterday, and I think it's almost maybe one of my favorite pieces here, even though it's not the biggest thing that I filmed or made, just because it feels very intimate. I think a little intimate place, even though it wasn't my intention, but it kind of became this. Yeah, I'm so happy about it. Yeah.
Did you change your working method during this period, because you were working on a specific theme about hurry, shortcuts? Did you put it also in how you work, how you approach your work, or is it exactly the same as you did before?
It's kind of a pattern that always repeats itself. I have too much time, and then I have no time, and then I start to hurry, but also because I was still building this morning, I always know exactly that it's going to work. So I have never a second felt that I was in a hurry here, in a way, even though it felt like I had to feel stressed about the build-up, but the process is also, it starts pretty slow because you cannot work in the spaces yet, so you're developing, you're searching the environment, and then in April it's kind of the start of everything, so I could work in the spaces, and it starts going faster and faster and faster, and in the end, it kind of explodes, and now four new works exist, which I didn't expect. That I would have 4 new things at the end of this, but I'm super happy. Yeah. Yeah. I think other people might be more stressed than I am. I'm running late. Yeah, that's who I am. Always.
I find it kind of surprising that you talk so much about being in a hurry, and well, to me the works show so much rest and being in control. So almost the opposite of being in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it kind of became that way because when I started thinking about being in a hurry, the only thing that I could actually think about was not being in a hurry, but kind of symbolizing being in a hurry in a way. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I also filmed things running around with a suitcase, but it just it doesn't click. It doesn't give the same feeling. And I think the theme of a hurry, which kind of developed in a super early phase of being here, it kind of developed itself as well into this kind of two-sided thing of being in a hurry, but on the other hand, the calmness of it. Kind of this state of mind, which I find very fascinating. Yeah. So if you want to share anything, like if you have ever been in a hurry yourself, because there are so many associations. Because I want to make a little book about all the things that I wasn't able to put into the works, but are still very relevant. Because I was talking to you both, and we talked about I'm kind of hurrying through this mud, but the mud, it took years and years and years to get there. It's super, like the nature, it's not in a hurry at all. It takes its time. So all these little things that I wasn't able to put in the works, but are super fascinating to me, I want to kind of collect them. So if you have anything or something pops up, maybe when we're talking, you can share them with me, and I can integrate them.
I was thinking that mud is also called sometimes quicksand.
Yeah.
It's
really like that.
There's nothing quick about it, but it quickly pulls you inside. It's the total contrast of being in a hurry. Well, in a way, you have to be not in a hurry, but you have to then also, if you're stuck, try to stay calm or move very swiftly and not panic.
Yeah, the thing is,
panic.
the trick is also
going to help you.
to kind of keep walking. And once it was raining, and I wanted to film myself standing there, what I was doing on the roof here. I wanted to stand in the soil, and then that you would see the rain and the reflection. But I was set 2 steps in it, and I was like into here, and there was this little panic moment that I was like, how am I going to get out of here? So I experienced it as well. It's really interesting. But those are the funny things that I think for me adds very much to the work, but I cannot show them, which is sad. Well, unless I tell about it.
Yeah. Well, it works still in the experience. Like, I don't know if this was your first time then experiencing that, being stuck in. Really?
Like that? Yes.
Yeah,
I think so,
For me, because also it has happened somewhere around here in New Statenzeil, and then I was stuck, and then till my middle.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Yeah, well, luckily he was also around.
Yeah. Well, I found it already scary. I was like, okay, should I put my shoes off? It's like everything kind of goes through your mind, like, oh, what am I doing? And then, but it helps to like take a breath and then do something. But it's.
Have you ever done waterlopen? I don't know what that
word is. I think when I was in primary school, probably we did it. But it was not this hard. Maybe.
Yes. When I think about being in a hurry, I have to also think about like inefficiency, because if someone is in a hurry but still managing to be efficient, then they won't be giving the impression that they're in a hurry at all. It will feel like that's the right speed to be doing something. So what for you is the relationship between hurriedness and also efficiency or inefficiency?
It's a good question. I think the efficiency part, I experienced it the last couple of days, where you're like, you are in a hurry, but you're actually not, because you are in this kind of hyper focus.
Yeah.
And being in a hurry for me is when you actually know that you're probably not gonna make it.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, and then it feels stressful. So yeah, I think that is that's for me the difference between being in a hurry and actually being like maybe in an efficient state.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
to capture this hurry feeling, were you also trying to capture a bit the absurdity of working in vain, or like something not going right? Like,
Yeah.
do you think that they were like connected, these things?
I think so. I think it was also all the time in the back of my mind this kind of human urge to do everything super quickly and super shortly. And when I'm going to a meeting in Groningen and I am a couple of minutes late on Google Maps, I try to figure out ways how to kind of make up for these minutes, even without going over the speed limit. And then I'm occupied for half an hour by this only thought that I have to like make it up. And then, yeah, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
It's a really pointless state of being, actually. So, yeah, I think that's a fascinating thing, and also very maybe a societal thing as well.
Yeah,
As well.
I think so.
Where you're living normally? In the city?
In Groningen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's different? Here, is there less hurry in the village?
Yeah, I
Less
think
hurry.
so.
There's less people, but
Yeah,
is
I
it
think
different, or?
it already gives a different feeling when there's less people. Because when you're walking in the streets, there are no cars or people running past you. You're just existing in this place. So I really felt the difference.
You don't relate or something. It's more
Yeah,
like that.
exactly. I think so. And also when you walk I could just leave my camera somewhere for an hour and then no one would grab it, or like there's this kind of.
You don't have to hurry to get back from
No, exactly. I don't have to. I can just do my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird experience, but also because when I was here in the Bierumer School the first month, Rolina was in France, and then sometimes Paul would be gone as well, and I would have this entire building for myself. And it was also this very weird feeling of just a bit emptiness, but in a good way.
Howling wind around the building.
Yeah, in the dark, like
Oh,
it
great.
was. Yeah, it was
Great
super.
fun.
It was great. Yeah. Super
Yeah.
fascinating.
But we also have a little supermarket in the village, and we have to get used to it that some people just start talking.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
yes, how are you doing? How's the daughter doing? Yes, it's fine.
Yeah. I
And there's
experienced
three
this.
people, four people standing, waiting, and nobody.
Yeah, everyone knows each
And
other.
everybody is just waiting.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. And nobody is in a hurry.
Yeah, true.
And that's
Yeah.
very nice. And sometimes,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's not so black and white like in the city. Everybody is in a hurry
No.
and then there is nobody.
But also I think
It's
when
different.
you kind of feel when you feel the energy from someone else, because when I see someone walking here for their pleasure, then you see this one person walking there, so it kind of feels super relaxed. Well, maybe in the city there's also someone walking for pleasure, but everything else moves around it, which doesn't make it peaceful to look at. So it's like this super, you can walk the entire town in an hour. We were passing out the krantjes, and you also had like 3 talks, I think, with people everywhere. So yeah, that's.
Sorry, I'm in a hurry,
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, I cannot. No, you didn't.
I have to bring the papers, I'm in a hurry.
No, yeah, I think it's really different from experience I have in home. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think animals would be in a hurry?
Sometimes they are.
Sometimes when they're chased by
Dogs,
something.
yeah. Dogs especially,
And the
yeah.
snails in my garden.
Yeah, they always hurry, yeah. Or the ants or something like that. But I don't know if they hurry, really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the way
it's
of
dog
being.
maybe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably not
It-
hurry for them.
no.
Hmm.
That is, yeah. It's also trying to capture that. Indeed, for example, in the city, we associate more everything with a hurry, and here it's more relaxed. And I would love to be, it's enchanting because you want to stay there forever and not
Yeah.
hurry forever. It's
Yeah.
here. You know?
Not everybody.
Not everybody.
No, but Paul also
No,
said
but I
like,
can just lie on the grass here.
yeah, you
and
can
then
see
look
the.
at the
After
sky,
3 days,
yeah.
it's getting
You know, that's,
boring.
yeah.
Then you want to be in a hurry.
Yeah.
Where's my deadline?
Yeah.
I have to do
Yeah.
something.
Well, yeah, the mixture is good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also Paul said like you can see the seasons change here, and when
Yeah.
you're in the city you don't notice it
No.
like that. So
Yeah.
that's very fascinating to me.
Did
as
you
well.
also see the moon changing?
I did. I
These
not.
sort of things that you don't see so much in the city, but you see, oh, now it's full moon. Just
Yeah, or like a big
And,
one or
Yeah.
a smaller one.
And standing there in the
Yeah,
evening or
when it
standing
comes
there
up.
in the
Yeah.
evening.
Maybe
Yeah.
So
there was northern lights, but maybe it was bad weather here.
Yeah.
There was northern light here.
We don't
Yeah.
see it here because of the lights in
Yeah.
our house.
Yeah, there's so much
the
light. huh?
green.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
every day Northern
It is
Yeah.
green.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, in the city you can't see the stars. And it really
Yeah.
freaked me out when I moved there.
Yeah.
I was like, where are they?
It's fantastic, eh?
Yeah.
Have you seen them? It's fantastic.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
at my hometown you can see the Milky Way sometimes.
Yeah.
And then in Groningen you see nothing. There's like a few, like maybe 5 if
Yeah.
you're lucky.
Like
Yeah.
the big ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That's
weird.
interesting.
If the environment is dark, how darker it is, how more like really you can pick them almost the
Yeah.
stars. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, nice thoughts. Thank you.
Thank
all.
you.
I think
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
it's
it
okay.
for now.
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
super red and
It's
Maybe
okay.
a bit, only a bit. Now you say it.
Very
Very
well.
red.
tonight. But yeah, please enjoy and stay around and have a drink and soup. I think.
And soup, I will
Yeah.
heat up the soup.
Would be nice.
And thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank you.